10 decisions I regret on Disney Cruise. I'm gonna count these back from 10 to 1 today. Number 10 being not taking enough time to enjoy the vacation. This is a popular opinion that I've heard. You get so caught up in planning all of the details that by the time you get there, you're just completely caught up in enjoying all of those plans and forget to just take time to enjoy the ship. Enjoy the time with your family, enjoy the laughs, the smiles, all of it. That's why you're there. Number 9 also has to do with too much planning. I typically will have too many tastings scheduled, and I end up regretting that. One time I just got a little too tipsy. I just was not thinking. We had wine tasting. A couple of hours later we had mixology tasting. That's quite a few drinks in a few hours. So the 3D movie after all that wasn't the best decision. I absolutely love their tastings, so I always make sure we have some scheduled. After that cruise, though, I made sure to only schedule 1 per day. It still was just a little too much. I think we had 5 on 7 nights, and having that many scheduled just doesn't leave time for enjoying the ship and being spontaneous. Number 8 that I actually regret is having Palo brunch after Palo dinner. Palo is one of their specialty restaurants. It's on all of the first 4 ships. It is Northern Italian cooking with a modern twist, and it's an adult exclusive restaurant, and it does have a dress code. And of course, there is an extra fee. For dinner at Palo, be transported to the heart of Italy as you pamper your palate with freshly prepared specialties that include butternut agnolotti, seared sea scallops on celery root puree, or entice your taste buds with a house favorite, piquant Dover sole, filleted tableside, garnished with nut brown butter and chopped capers. They also have an impressive wine list for wine pairings. For their brunch, Palo also brings its flair for fine Italian cuisine to a brunch service that features a selection of hearty favorites. Brunch is offered on all ships on most sea days. And they do also require reservations, so make sure you do that during your online check-in. If they're not available at your online check-in, go straight to guest services when you get on the ship and see if you can get one then. We enjoy both their brunch and the dinner, but I enjoy the brunch more. Part of that is because of the buffet they used to have in the brunch that they do not have right now, so time will tell with that one. And on the Wish, they're gonna have a Palo Steakhouse. It'll still be one of their premium restaurants, but looks like it's gonna be a bit different as well. Definitely having Palo brunch directly after Palo dinner is way too much food. It's even hard to eat sometimes that brunch after all that food the night before, so I definitely suggest spreading those out. Number 7 decision I regret was really sticking to a very tight budget for the cruise. It was fun to have like a $5 stateroom charge at the end of the cruise, but I really wish I would have budgeted in extra tips for the crew. That was our very first cruise. We did a 3-night. It was, like I said, very budgeted. As a matter of fact, all of them are pretty budgeted because that's how I like to travel, but now I absolutely include more tips and gratuities for the crew. They are fabulous, and they certainly earn them, and I really just feel bad when I don't have extra to give them at the end of the cruise. It just makes me feel good to support them that way, and they make the cruise so fabulous. Number 6 decision I regret takes us back to that Palo decision. I really regret not exercising. I have always heard that you can gain 10 pounds on a cruise. I hadn't had that experience because my first cruises were 3 and 4 night cruises, but that 7 night got me. And after that, I realized I definitely needed to do some type of exercise on the ship. They do have a fully loaded fitness center with top of the line weight machines and cardio equipment. Their treadmills actually overlook the ocean, which is really cool. They also have classes like aerobics, yoga, Pilates, etc. Some of those have additional charge, but some do not. Interestingly enough, age requirements are determined by where you are cruising. Originating in the United States, guests between the ages of 14 and 17 must be accompanied by an adult. For those originating in the UK, use of the fitness center is restricted to adults 18 years of age and older. I actually don't use the fitness center, I use Deck 4. I love Deck 4. Deck 4 is where their walking and jogging track is, so it goes around completely. On the Magic Class ships, it's 0.3 miles, and on the larger ships, it's 0.4 miles. I really love it there because you're outside. I like the sea breeze and the air, and of course it's beautiful. We used to just take the stairs all the time for our exercise. That's absolutely not enough. There's too much sitting and too much eating, and Deck 4 is a really good option. Number 5 that I really regretted is not taking enough photos and videos. Usually I take way too much, so on the last one I really cut back, but when I got done I realized I didn't have any of the family. It was a unique trip. that I don't actually think will happen again with just those people. And I wish I had gotten a few more photos. A couple of times they even asked me and I just said no. I just wasn't into the photos that trip. I was trying to be there and enjoy it, I think. But part of that for me is having the videos and the photos to look back on, because as I get older, I get a little more forgetful, I think. That's what I'll blame it on anyway. I don't actually recommend their photo package on the ship. I think if you have the little tiny humans, that could be a good idea, because there are a lot of opportunities to get meet and greet photos, especially as those are coming back. A lot of families also like to get really dressed up on formal night and use those photos for Christmas cards, etc. So I think that really depends, but for the most part, I've heard people don't like the photo package just because it's a little too much. People that do like it though, they love it. So definitely look into it. We always buy at least 1 or 2 photos from the cruise though. Number 4 is not booking placeholders. I can't believe I've done this, and it's been 3 times that I've done it. Good grief. A placeholder is an open-ended reservation that allows guests to select their future sail date at a later time. While you're on the ship, you'll make a $250 deposit, and it's fully refundable if the reservation is canceled. Once a sail date is selected, standard cancellation fees apply. Placeholders let you save on a future Disney cruise vacation by taking advantage of their special on-board-only booking offer. You can either book a future cruise or a placeholder. If you do that while you're on board, you'll get 10% discount off prevailing rates, as well as a reduced deposit on 7-night or longer sailings. They do have a few blackout dates, predominantly in maritime season. I always mean to make that placeholder because then I've already got a deposit made, plus you save 10% on that cruise. That's a pretty good deal. And I didn't do it because I just wasn't sure I would be sailing within that time frame. But 1, I did, and 2, it was refundable, so I should have done that. Number 3 regret is not buying the $10 and $20 souvenirs in the shops. Those first trips where I was really budgeted, I didn't even walk into the shops because I didn't want to tempt myself. But I found out later that they had my absolute favorite souvenir for $10, that Animator's palette knife. Luckily, you can buy that online. And they also have really great ornaments and coffee cups that are around $15 to $20 depending on which ones you choose. They even have some that are on clearance sometimes. I saw one that was $3 last year. So I definitely regret that, especially the dated ornament. Now, I like to get a dated ornament for every cruise we take. Then we have those for the Christmas tree, and I really love just looking back on those memories. I typically now will get an ornament on the ship with the date, and I will also get one on shore with the location and the date. Just love having those. I love Christmas anyway, so that just makes it extra special too. Number 2, there's not even a way to get around it. I definitely regret booking rooms where an adult was sleeping on the fold-out bed on the couch. It's extremely uncomfortable. For tiny humans, youth, teens, it's fine. If you're a larger person, 1, that couch bed is very small, and 2, it's very painful. Someone actually mentioned in a comment that they will bring an egg crate type topper for that bed just to help sleep on it, and I thought that was such a good idea. If you do end up having a sailing where you're going to have an adult on that bed and you think that it might be too uncomfortable, you can try contacting guest services. They actually brought in one of those egg crate toppers, and they used the mattress on the pull down and switched it with the one on the couch because they said that one was better quality, I guess, and that did help. But for sure, that's something to be aware of. The number 1 decision I totally regret on Disney Cruise Line is making the decision to get off the ship at Castaway Cay while my son was still on the ship. He wanted to stay and do a couple of things, so I said, come in about 2 hours and meet me on Castaway Cay. He was 14 at the time. I did not realize that you had to have a form completed for him to get off the ship. In general, Disney Cruise Line security guidelines require under the age of 18 to be accompanied by an adult guest traveling in the same stateroom. However, a parent or guardian may allow their child to go ashore either unaccompanied by an adult or with another specified adult guest by completing the Traveling with Minors section of the online check-in. Or, once you're on board, you can sign a debarkation authorization form for minors at guest services. He was under 18 and they wouldn't let him off the ship. I totally appreciate that. I didn't even know that they had this form at the time. Obviously, we do now, but I did regret that decision. He waited in the room for me for a couple of hours. When he didn't show up, I thought, well, something must have happened. I went back to the room and found him. And so he got to explore the island for a little bit. But for me, that was my number 1 biggest regret, was that I just didn't know that he needed that. And I feel like I probably should have looked into it because I knew a lot of other details. So if you've got teens, you want them to debark with someone besides you, make sure you look into those forms. And if you want some more, you can go check out this video. I don't regret this decision, but it was definitely a big mistake. And more recently, we have the only 3 tips you need for an epic Disney cruise. Thanks for being here, everyone. I really appreciate you watching. Let us know in the comments below, do you have anything you really regretted on Disney Cruise? Go ahead and hit that subscribe if you haven't yet. You can ring that little bell. It'll let you know when we have any new videos. And we'll see you real soon with some more Disneys.